Hi everyone, I forgot to record the first bit because my phone was charging, so all I've done is painted the eyes black and started to use the eyeshadow to blush the doll. I kept the original yellow colour of the face because I quite liked how that looked with the eyeshadow. I'm using black eyeshadow to shade around the top of the eye socket just to make the eyes look more like they're inside an eye socket as opposed to just painted on the outside of the doll. And I'm using Last Call, which is like a sort of almost pinky burgundy colour eyeshadow, and you can see it's got a metallic-y sheen to it. I'm using that at the bottom of the eyes and also the cheeks and the temple area of the doll. And this is me just trying to use these sort of silvery bright eyeshadow on the eyebrow ridge and on the nose. That didn't work, so I used a little bit of white paint and basically rubbed most of that off and just dabbed it with my finger to help blend it in. I just wanted to sort of highlight that little area. I didn't quite like that, so I ended up wiping that all off anyway, and that made the brow ridge and the nose stick out enough for me anyway. Then I used the silvery white eyeshadow on the middle part of the face and down the nose just to add a little bit of a metallic-y type of sheen. Then a very small brush and some white acrylic paint just to highlight the lower lid and the upper lid, again just to make it look more like it's an eye in a socket as opposed to two black eyes just painted onto the surface of the doll. It looks a bit rough at the minute, but I do touch it up in a little bit. Then I take some black acrylic paint and touch up the eyes, and then now I'm just adding some little details. I just added these little white dots. I just thought they looked nice. I was just messing at this point just to decorate the doll. I decided I didn't like the two little highlights on the eyes, so I do get rid of those shortly. I'm just using some eyeshadow to go into the corners of the mouth because the corners of the mouth weren't defined enough, and then use a wet cotton bud just to wipe off the excess of the cheeks. At this stage you can use a wet cotton bud to remove anything that you don't like. But once you've sprayed a couple of layers of sealant on, you'll need to use acetone to remove it. I added a little white highlight to the Cupid's bow area and blended it in, and then used some more black acrylic paint just to redefine the shape of the lips and make the lips look a little bit fuller, and also to darken the corners of the mouth as well. I did the lips so it was black around the outside and red in the centre, so it's like a two-tone lip effect on the doll. And as you can see, I'm just redefining the lip shape here. I wanted the top lip a bit more pointy, which is what I've just done. And then I'm adding a bit more red acrylic into the centre of the lip to give me that two-tone lip effect. And then once the face has had a couple of layers of sealant and dried, I then turned to the back of the head and applied some glue. I'm using Mod Podge for this. And what I'm doing is using the felting wool that they use for when people do little felting creatures and things. I like to use it for hair, and I'm just taking little wefts of it and gluing it into place on the head. And basically you start from the back and just work your way forward and just do it in layers, little sections at a time. And that's all I'm doing here, is just dabbing a bit of glue, add a little section of hair, put glue on top of the ends as well to make sure that all the hairs are stuck, and then move on to the next section. And what you do is you work all the way till you're almost at the front of the head, and then because I wanted a parting in her hair, when I got to the front I actually started sticking the little wefts on, coming from the centre of the head outwards on either side, so that actually it formed a little parting in the middle. And basically you lay the hair in whichever way you want it to be on the head, like whichever way you want it to lay on the head, and that's what I'm doing here. So nice big dollop of glue, add a little weft of hair, and then press it down with a cotton bud covered in glue to make sure that the hairs on the top and the bottom are stuck. And this just makes sure that the glue goes all through that little weft of hair to make sure each hair is stuck in place. and you just have to be really careful with this until it's dried. Once it's dried, you can style the hair a little bit more, but you do have to be careful because you can pull it off. But what you can do once the glue is dried is just gently stroke the hair to remove any loose hairs, and then you can use it to shape the hair. What I like about using this stuff is you can form it into a shape and add a bit of movement to your doll. So you can have it where it's like flowing out backwards as if the wind's blowing it, that sort of thing. It holds a bit more of a shape to it, this does, which is what I like about using it. Plus I like the colour too, and it looks quite good. I first used it on the wear pup and really liked how it turned out there, so now I've decided to use it on the doll repaints as well. And I was just pouring out a little bit more glue to add some more wefts of hair. And luckily they've positioned the doll so basically her body's touching the table but her face is not touching it properly, because I didn't want to damage the paint I've just done on it. And once the doll's finished, it looks like this, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now. If you'd like to see more, click on the subscribe button, and my links are in the description box. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I'm fumsmusings on Patreon. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.